More for his second try. Do you think he was showboating, or do you think he nearly lost the ball?
I think he nearly lost the ball. No, he definitely nearly lost the ball. That wasn't on purpose. But he had the presence of mind and the handling skills to keep on. Yeah. No, I don't think he was showboating. I think he'll tell you he was showboating. Yeah. But I think he nearly lost the ball.
And then John Bateman. I mean, Anthony Gelling went through a bit of soft tackling when Wigan finally got the ball to his side later on, and John Bateman, what an effort to finally fully seal it.
Yeah, no, fair play. I think on balance, probably
who do you think was better in the first 21 minutes of the game? Who do you think was the better side in the first 21 minutes of the game? It was 6-6 at the time of the sending off.
Well, I think that tells you everything you need to know.
It was 8-6.
8-6 to you at that point. You'd pulled ahead.
With the penalty, George Williams penalty just before, so it was 8-6 to Wigan. I think Wigan were slightly better.
Marginally better. Yeah. You were doing marginally more with your ball. And
Hull's game plan seemed to be get to the end of the set and then kick it at Marshall, and it did work because Connor put that big leap in and got the ball down. Fanua did that fend off. It did work.
Getting to the end of sets and putting young wingers under pressure is what won them a Challenge Cup.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. So, but that was all they seemed intent on doing. Which was
that was their play Wigan game plan. There was no plan B.
That was the thing. It wasn't doing. It wasn't. They weren't doing enough. Whereas Wigan were probably throwing a little bit more at Hull, and Hull were defending it quite well in that early stage. But Wigan were making better meters until the first choice props went off.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, I think they were probably the better side. No, I think the better team won overall.
Well, Hull were cracking for that sort of 15 to 20 minute period.
Yeah, they roused themselves, fair enough, but, generally, scoreboard didn't lie.
Yeah.
For me. Anyway, what do the stats tell us?
Wigan made 405 more metres, 1.1 metres per carry better average gain, and 6-1 in clean breaks. Should all have meant a bigger than 8-point winning margin for Wigan. 10-7 in errors and 9-7 in penalties conceded meant Wigan got in their own way a little bit of taking advantage of the extra man. Wigan tackled at 1.6% better overall than Hull as a team, but Hull's intensity and execution in desperation was shown with 16 successful offloads to Wigan's 7.
There you go. Individually, who stood out for us?
Anthony Gelling, 2 tries, 1 try assist, 5 tackles, 193 metres, 3 clean breaks. Tom Davies, 1 try, 204 metres. John Bateman, 1 try, 5 tackles, 101 metres. Tony Clubb, 107 metres. Liam Farrell, the Ginger Pearl, 1 try assist, 44 tackles, 10 marker tackles, 141 metres. And Wayne Bennett still won't pick him.
No, probably not. Okay, for Hull, who stood out?
Well, Jamie Shaw, 5 tackles, 134 metres. Albert Kelly, 2 try assists and 121 metres. Scott Taylor, 116 metres. Danny Houghton, 49 tackles. Sika Manu, 1 try and 102 metres.
Fantastic. Final game of the Super 8s then saw Salford taking on Huddersfield Giants, and it was 52-14 in favour of the Red Devils, first win in 9 in front of 1,405, refereed by James Child.
I think there was almost as many people at the wedding I was at on Saturday as was at this game.
Probably.
Owen Hughes, typical. First time I've picked against Salford on the Super Brew for 8 games and we go win.
Oh dear.
Not that I'm complaining. Good to be back to winning ways. Really disappointing attendance, but I'm part of the problem. I was listening on the radio at work. Well, if you're at work.
At work, you can't like.
Yeah. And isn't he like a nurse? And,
Yeah.
Let's not criticise him for being at work.
You're not part of the problem, man. In fact, if anything, more broadly, mate, you're part of the solution.
Would be great to follow this up with a good performance at Leeds next week and finish the season on a positive note. My man of the match, Sal and Vatabai.
Mark W says, quite possibly the worst game of rugby league I've ever sat through. Can't knock Salford because you can only beat what's in front of you, but I don't think there'd have been as big a margin if they'd been playing against a Super League team. I don't understand. I don't think they'd have been as big a margin if they were playing against a Super League team. To give some time to give some of the young lads a spot in the last 2 games, the likes of Wood, Dickinson and English deserve some game time. What were the squads like?
It was Mellor was one of the centres because Cudjoe's out for the season.
Yeah.
Gene Ormsby fucking played. What a joke! There you go. There's your answer. Actually, I think. Does
he make the stats round up?
No, he doesn't make the stats round up. But I think. Did he score a try? No, he didn't score a try. No. But some of the play wasn't of Super League calibre. There was a lot of space for Salford. When they did all the sort of switches that they were doing earlier on in the season, and convicted spousal abuser was taking control of the show, with Niall Evalds being really good off the back of that, and Murdoch Masilla back to being a threatening line runner. As an alternative option to convicted spousal abuser. I think that was what Salford were really good at earlier in the season. That particularly that right hand side of theirs was really good at that. You know, the left hand side kind of fell apart once Justin Carney wasn't there to run through people. Yeah. But the right and Junior Sal kind of was a bit isolated then, wasn't he? After that point, he didn't get as much. But some of the tries were fairly straightforward.
They were, weren't they?
But there was. It was what Salford were doing all year and quite good at. For Salford side, Gareth O'Brien played in the halves.
Yeah. No Todd Carney for them.
Wella Haraki still played in the props, and that was a question mark we had last week for sure. But with Logan Tompkins and Chris Bryan in back, that's a big difference maker. They had the Wallen brothers on the bench and Lannon as well, so that was 3 young Salford products on the bench. And I think the Wallen brothers are kind of been underappreciated. I know Jordan Wallen's been out on loan a couple of times and a couple of injuries this year. Adam Wallen, when he's played for Salford, has almost invariably been in or close to the stats roundup, and I think maybe his work's quite quiet and understated. Maybe he takes the obvious carries, and maybe, you know, off the back of someone getting a good bit of play, he takes the next carry up, or he takes the kickoffs back or whatever, but he's not making a ton of mistakes and he's not letting anyone down, and I'm surprised that they've just let him go like they have to Huddersfield. He's basically the replacement for Rapira there, isn't he?
Yeah.
So what's Salford going to do in the front row if they're already playing Wella Haraki there? I know they're missing Mossop and Tassie and
Kopchak in the team.
That Kopchak played, but that's about...
Look, it's the bottom 2 sides in the competition going at each other. It could have gone either way, I think. If Salford hadn't turned up with the right attitude, Huddersfield could just have easily put 50 points on Salford.
Salford are only 1 point behind Saints.
No, I know. That's the thing. That's the next point I was going to say. Does this revive Salford's hopes of somehow spectacularly arresting the slide and getting into the top 4? I think there's too many teams above them that will win games.
Well, they have a run-in against them out. Sides that won't need to beat them, don't they? I mean, they play Leeds next week.
Yeah.
And who did they play in the last week?
I'm not sure.
They've played Cass already, so it must actually be one of those teams in contention.
We've not played them yet.
No, we beat them.
Right.
We haven't. We've got Cass and Waking.
We've got Cass and Waking.
But anyway, Ben Masilla scored a try like he was doing earlier on in the season. The Chris Wellham try was there was a load of space for him. The Tyrone McCarthy one was pretty. There was a few easy-ish ones, but they played better and they made less errors than they have been making, which was crucial to the first 2/3 of the season. So credit Salford for bouncing back in a big way. Huddersfield, well, that's as good as it, isn't it, for them? I mean, technically, I think they can get there. Let me just check.
Huddersfield? No.
Oh no, they can't now. I must have. Yeah, they are definitely not.
Yeah, Huddersfield are done.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did the stats tell us?
What I was wondering is if that was it. When I looked at the table, they're not necessarily going to finish 8th, but almost certainly are. Stats say Salford hammered Huddersfield on the stats as well as on the scoreboard. 636 more metres at 0.5 metres per carry better average gain, as well as 11-3 clean breaks, 11-3 clean break win, 16-2 better successful offload count. They made half as many errors, 8-16, and topped things off with a 1.5% better team tackle success. So wins across the board there. Manu Vatavai 2 tries, 5 tackle balls, 148 metres, 2 clean breaks. Chris Wellham back in the stats, 2 tries, a try assist, 2 clean breaks. Tyrone McCarthy, a try and 4 successful offloads. Adam Wallen, 116 metres, and our old pal Junior Sal, 2 try assists, 128 metres, 2 clean breaks. Oliver Roberts keeps getting in, doesn't he, for Huddersfield? 1 try, 53 tackles, 11 mark tackles. And Sebastian Ikehife, maybe this is the way people should have been beating the Giants. Make him work hard. 43 tackles and 10 marker tackles, not what he's normally in the stats roundup for, but big shift from the big man. So
what does all that do to the standings in the league then?
Castleford now have a potentially record-setting 12-point lead at the top from confirmed second-place side Leeds. Wigan are into 3rd on points difference only. Hull FC 4th, both on 31. Wakefield fall to 5th on 30. Saints are in 6th on 29. Salford still have a chance but need a lot to go their way in 7th on 28. Then Huddersfield will likely finish in 8th now on 25.
There you go. Okay, that's the Super 8 taken care of. Then let's take a look back now at round 5 of the qualifiers. Okay, into round 5 of the qualifiers. Then we'll start at the HJ, where Warrington defeated Lee Centurions by 32 points to 30, securing their place in Super League for 2018 in front of 9,787, refereed by Phil Bentham. Mark.
Yeah, and Wire Joe said, we had 3 objectives going into these middle eights: retain the Super League place, begin an inquest into what's gone wrong this season, and clear out those not pulling their weight on and off the pitch. So, we've retained our status despite being fucking atrocious, had no word from anyone at the club as to what the issues have been this year, and cleared out the only player who showed any heart this season in Hiku. How was your Saturday?
Oh, now be fair, fucking
Sims has gone too.
Sims has gone too now, and what's his name? Andre. He's on his way out as well. Lee Whitnell said, I took my son to this game for his very first experience of the South Stand. Well, that's gone now, isn't it? Oh, he means the Warrington South Stand. It's not the same thing. And watching him enjoy himself definitely helped me enjoy this game more than I normally would. It was a close game that Lee easily could have won. Good performance from Gidley, Russell and the departing Hiku, and a lovely 40-20 from Brown were the highlights for me. Job done now, and time to get into the transfer market. Big signings are needed.
Yeah, I mean, they won it with a late penalty, really, and the penalty was kicked by Harvey Levette, who's back on the scene. Yeah. But it was pretty tit for tat, weren't it, throughout? And that surprised me because I thought Warrington would win this game at a canter. So obviously there was some issue. There was a few pretty simple dummy half tries in this game from both sides, or around the play of the ball tries, which means that both sides' defences are mid-late defences, basically. That's what that means, doesn't it?
Yes.
So I don't know if... We didn't get much Lee context, did we? So I don't know if Lee were... Well, we got Lee context, in the Whitnell sense. I don't know if Lee were the worst team in the end on balance or what, but it sounds like it could have gone either way.
Yeah, that's the impression I got on it.
Maybe Peter Hick is the difference maker. His try was...
Let's see James Clare bagging another try for Leeds Centurions after such a long period.
And a legitimate one by all accounts this time, because last one's was definitely in touch.
Yeah. This one wasn't.
No.
So bravo, fair play to him. Who stood out for us individually?
Chris Hill with a try in 159 metres, Peter Hickey with a try assist, 6 tackle busts, 168 metres, 3 successful offloads, and Matty Russell with a try, 5 tackle busts and 128 metres.
For the Centurions, did anyone stand
out? Well, James Clare with a try in 114 metres, and Mitch Brown, who got 102 metres in this one. So obviously that side of the pitch worked well in making yardage and stuff.
Okay. Hull KR confirmed their place in Super League, Mark, with promotion from the Championship with a 12 points to 6 win over the Widnes Vikings in front of 8,227, refereed by Gareth Hewer, who must be wondering what he did wrong to not be in the south of France.
Yeah, Tyler Cass fan said, Hull KR not at their best, but they did enough to grind out the win. Congrats and welcome back. Widnes unlucky with in-game injuries, but hopefully they will have enough to retain their top flight place in the coming weeks.
And Paul O'Brien said, Widnes just not good enough in attack, plenty of good field position, but lacked ideas.
Paul Udo Lewis said, not one player looked interested, not fucking one. Without Hanbury, we look bloody useless in attack, and I fear and think the players and fans will take London too lightly next week. On the positive side, congrats to Hull KR, whose players are living in poverty all year, whose players, after living in poverty all year, can now finally eat a decent meal and get their TVs back from the pawnbrokers.
Ooh, he's a bitter man. Yeah, losing Reece Hanbury was an important factor in this game, and I think it gave Hull KR a bit of an entry, didn't it, against them?
Well,
so important attacking wise for Widnes.
There've been two different sides in the games where he has played and games where he hasn't played.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say, and he's right in saying they don't look a threat without him in attack. But even more so, the in-game injury to Craven.
Yeah.
And then they also lost. Bloody hell! So Craven. No. They first lost Corey Thompson.
Right.
Did they not? Who was at fullback, standing fullback.
Okay.
And was